sources. You get your news and information, like, from like guys like us, maybe. Um, we, those of you who get your information from, like, alternative news sources, I think a lot of time we underestimate like how powerful the mainstream media actually is, because we confuse the alternative media as being kind of like the new mainstream media, and we expect everybody to know what we know. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But the majority of the world doesn't know or understand the things that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And they 100% get their news and their information from these mainstream media sources.
Yeah.
And they eat this stuff up. So when they're kind of repeatedly telling you money is bad, 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 hey, look at it, regardless of what the facts say. The facts say that MSM is how you primarily get it. But we keep giving you these stories about people getting it through cash money. Then next thing you know, everybody's going to be saying, hey, we got to get rid of this cash money.
Yeah, they'll change it to money pox.
Exactly. We changed the new name to money pox. So, don't underestimate how powerful that mainstream media is and how quickly it can change everybody's mind around. You get what I'm saying? You still got people walking around. I mean, you can do what you want, I can't remember the last time I wore a mask. I just don't. I don't even think about it anymore. I just go about living life. But you still got folks out here, super masked up, and like I said, and maybe Rob can validate this, because he is a registered, he is a nurse, right? So he knows some things about this kind of stuff, and he follows C19 a lot because he has a channel called C19 Report.
Right. These
new variants, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Rob.
Oh yeah.
These new variants, don't they go right through the mask? Like the mask holds no bearing on them? Or am I wrong about that? Because that's what I had heard. I heard that they just swoop, they go right through that like it's nothing.
Well, basically any virus, because they're extremely small, they have the possibility of being able to penetrate an N95. But what's the most interesting about these new variants is, this is what we had talked about before. The new variants are so different from the old ones that they've come up with new boosters. Everyone over 12 expected to be eligible for, quote, new boosters. White House official says, with updated shots coming soon, should you wait to get another dose or get boosted with the current ones that they have now? So we got brand new shots available, specific for BA 4 and 5. So the question is, what about what happened before? What you got before? Is all that for nothing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And now they're rolling out the new ones that they want everybody to get. They want your children to get. But at the same time too, because I remember you talked about it on your channel. I don't know if it was from that video clip, but I guess where the new shots aren't available, on a dice roll, they said just take the old one and maybe it'll work, or we'll see what happens. Yeah. It was literally like that though. What I'm saying sounds silly, but in the news clip that he played, that was literally like what they were saying. They were like, just go and take the original one anyways, because it might do something for you. Just go ahead, just whatever, just try it. So it's like
hit or miss.
Hit or miss. And these are people that are supposed to be, in control of like our lives to a degree in terms of telling us what's best for us based on the science. But like they're sitting up there telling you stuff that they're not even sure about themselves.
Right. Which is dangerous. So and what's even more interesting is, let me see, hold on. Check this out. An article just came out from the New York Times speaking of this, and you guys will laugh when you see what the headline of it is. I'm going to show it to you guys real quick. Hold on. Just give me 1 second here.
Iron Will says, how many shots and boosters does that make total now? Are we talking about like 4 or 5 now, something like that?
Man, I lost count.
Yeah, like people on their 4th and 5th one.
Right. Look at that. What's that say?
Let me see, what does that say? Walensky, that's how you said the name? Walensky,
Yeah.
citing botched pandemic response, calls for CDC reorganization. Wow.
Man, if you listen to the mainstream media, you wouldn't think that anything was botched. You would think that everything was going as planned. But they quietly put out an article in the New York Times talking about how there was all of these failures. Well, here's the question. What's the failures? You wouldn't know what they are because anybody that criticized anything that was going on during the C-19 pandemic, their content was removed.
Mm-hmm. With the quickness, too.
The quickness. Yeah.
Yep, citing, what's it called? What do they always hit you with? The medical misinformation?
Medical misinformation. So now, if the CDC needs to do a reorganization because, according to the New York Times, there was a botched pandemic response, were they involved with some medical misinformation too? That's a question that we should ask, because what part of it exactly was botched?
Mm-hmm. There you go. You know what's funny? You know how if I ask you what time it is and you tell me what time it is, I'm gonna look at you and say, "Why are you telling me what time it is?" You know,
right?
I have no idea what you were trying to pull up in the background earlier when you were talking. I wanted to make like a transition to it. You were like, "Oh, let me pull that up for you."
Oh, and it was that? It was that CDC thing.
It was a CDC thing. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
why are you asking me what time it is?
Yeah, I'm asking you what time. You see, like my memory is so bogus like that. Like we having a conversation about like what we're talking about right now. Rob said, "Okay, let me pull up some more information on it." We go through the whole segment, and I say, "Okay, so what were we supposed to talk about? What were you trying to pull up?"
When you gonna pull that info up?
Talked about it already.
when you gonna pull that info up?
Rob, when you gonna pull that info up? Like we literally just did a whole segment. Like you were reading you read the title just now.
That's hilarious. That's funny as heck.
I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on with my head.
That's hilarious. Look, check this out though. I actually got a little video clip of that CDC thing that we just had up. I don't know if you want to check it out or not. Let me see how long it is real quick. Yeah, it's only 5 minutes. You want to check it out?
Yeah, we can check it out.
All right, that's what's up. All right, let me throw this up here real quick. Let's see.
Through a reorganization following criticism over the agency's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and other public health threats. CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook is here with me, and he spoke exclusively with CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky about the changes.
Today's report uncovered deep concerns over the CDC's culture and day-to-day practices. Among the complaints, a rigid, compartmentalized bureaucracy that restricted the agency's overall response to the pandemic, from its analysis of data to the sluggish release of information to the public, to its confusing and overwhelming COVID guidance. Was the agency up to the task of handling this pandemic?
I think our public health infrastructure in the country was not up to the task of handling this pandemic.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky commissioned the report in April.
We learned some hard lessons over the last 3 years, and as part of that, it's my responsibility, it's the agency's responsibility to learn from those lessons and do better.
The new findings are likely to spark a major shakeup of the CDC's sprawling bureaucracy. Among the plans, get information to the public more rapidly, create a new office to promote equity in healthcare, and develop a more nimble workforce that can quickly respond to public health crises.
We need to have a special forces, if you will,
So here's my question real quick. How would we have ever, as citizens, caught any issues that they were having with C-19 if we weren't allowed to criticize anything? Because anytime you post up anything that was a critique, they strike it down as medical misinformation. And here it comes out that they were doing a lot of things wrong, so much to the point that they have to overhaul the entire department.
That speaks volumes right there. I really think about what Rob just said. They're overhauling the entire department. C-19 response was botched. That bad. We're not talking about like getting rid of like a person or two. The whole department is getting revamped.
Right. And for all of those YouTube people and the AI that might want to look and say this is XYZ information, look right where it says CBS News and read what it says. CDC chief orders reorganization, citing pandemic mistakes. There's no way that this is any kind of misinformation. Just like a lot of things that came out before should have been allowed to be compared to information that was out already. But because we weren't allowed to critically think through this, we weren't allowed. It was big tech, Twitter, Facebook, restricting people's exchange of thought about what was going on during this. And now the CDC has to make admissions in the New York Times, just like how the New York Times had to validate the fact that Hunter Biden's laptop was real.
Torian said, I remember getting a strike last year for so-called medical information on an article I read from mainstream media. Yeah.
now you know why it was medical misinformation, because of where it came from. You're looking at it.
You got it from them, you know? I think Rob got knocked off was it TikTok because of that? Like you made a video where you were reading like a CNN article. And
I wasn't even reading it. It was just a news clip just like this. It was a 30-second news clip just like this from, matter of fact, it was from CBS. They deleted my entire account.
They deleted your entire account over you posting a CBS news clip. So apparently once again, if you're getting it from mainstream media, I guess you are pushing misinformation. You get it clearly. You're pushing misinformation because you got it from mainstream media, bro. You should have known better. You know, you should have known better. You should have got it from somebody else. You know, I don't know. You should have hollered at it. You got some clips. You should have put up some clips from Reza Islam or something like that.
Right.
That would have been more accurate than what the CDC was putting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Given the fact that, as you can see on your screen, YouTube and YouTube AI, that the CDC chief orders reorganization, citing pandemic mistakes. That's not something that I'm saying. That's what they saying. But that's what's crazy too, is that it don't matter. I think the word is arbitrary. I don't know if I'm using it right, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The arbitrariness with which YouTube decides to keep channels and remove channels, or keep videos and remove videos, strike videos or not strike videos, is really insane. You know, and that's kind of one of the reasons too, like why on this channel, you know, if you notice the very first time that we talked about, like, you know, C-19, you know, I was trying hard not to say virus and vaccine. Now I'm still not going to do that on the main channel. You know what I'm saying? That's the main channel. I'm not going to do that over there. But
we ain't going to do that on Mike Lowry channel, you know.
They're not going to do that on Mike Lowry channel. We're not going to do that on the main channel. Yeah, we going to still be coded up. On the main channel, I just don't talk about this stuff at all. I don't got to worry about being coded on the main channel, because on the main channel, I just don't talk about this kind of stuff. But
we're talking about it on Black Light Revelations 10. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm talking on Black Light Revelations 10. But, like, you know, that's one of the reasons, like, why on this channel, as far as, like, you know, the new channel with kind of experiment, is just like, just speak your speech and say what you got to say, because there are no, when you look at this, there are no real rules to this in terms of what you can say and what you can't say, and they keep it like that, because you got folks that'll be coded up in their language, not really saying too much of anything. But because they understand what you're still talking about, they still zap your video or zap your channel, you know, because of it. You know what I'm saying? So
it's crazy how it's crazy the way they make the determination too, because the only channel that I've